Yeah, the lower thirds. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. This is ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator. I'm your host, and we are actually going through the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth by John C. Maxwell. Look at Pat. I am phenomenal. Pat's in the building. Co-host today, Mr. Pat. I call him Pat, but Mr. Patrick, how are you today, sir?
Phenomenal.
Absolutely doing phenomenal. I got to turn my volume up here. And so just to kind of recap, guys, let you know where we are. And today we're opening up the seats because I really want to hopefully get some feedback from you guys, man, because as I was thinking about yesterday and we talk about the law of reflection, I was just reflecting on this show. I was really just reflecting on this show. And I thank God for all of you who continue to show up because we may have started the show, but it's because of you that we continue the show. Let me repeat that again. We may have started the show, but it's because of you that we continue the show. So we recognize the impact that we're having on you, but I want you to understand the impact that you're having on us. I think that's very important for you to understand. So we've been going through the 15 laws of invaluable growth. We're on law number 4, the law of reflection. And that's where you take a moment to pause. You think about, we talked about yesterday, the 4 I's. You want to investigate, you want to investigate, you want to incubate, you want to illuminate, and you want to illustrate. Yeah, the 15 laws of invaluable growth. And so law number 1 was the law of intentionality, where you wanted to, you want to define where it is that you want to go, where you want to be in life. You want to be intentional about things so that you can be intentional about your journey. Law number 2 was the law of awareness, being aware of who you are and who you are around, who you surround yourself with, finding mentors, having people in your life that can speak into your life and that can pull you forward. And law number 3 was the law of the mirror. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Hopefully you see phenomenal. Hopefully you see greatness. Hopefully you see awesome. Hopefully you see supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. What do you see in your very own self when you look into the mirror? We understand that there are some people that have some low self-esteem, and so we're trying to boost your self-esteem so that you can create and have and hold on to the greatness that you have, the greatness that's on the inside of you. And then law number 4 is the law of reflection. Taking a moment to pause, thinking about your day, going through the day and going through the day at light speed and not taking a moment to capture some of the moments that come across your path. That's kind of ludicrous. So we want to take moments to pause, to reflect, to think about, to illustrate, to create, to develop, taking moments out of your day just to pause. And so today, as we're talking about the law of reflection, I said, man, we need to reflect on this show. We need to reflect on what has transpired, what has taken place, what has happened. And then yesterday, I actually did a blab. I was talking about your dream, and Pat joined. It was one of those times where I'm just going through my own moments. You had those times sometimes where you just need to vent. You need to get something out. Sometimes you might not have somebody that you can just call that can understand and listen to you. So I just got on blab, and Pat showed up. So as I'm talking about this thing called the dream and how I believe there's so many people who only want it to be a dream, he shared a story with me that helped bring me back to my very own self. And so, Pat, I wanted you to share your story and maybe share your experience from yesterday, because it truly did help me. And the reason why I'm doing this because, guys, it's important that we lean on one another. I'm not going to always be at 100, right? But I've got someone in my corner that can help me get back to 100 whenever I fall down. And I want you guys to know that that's what this network is about. That's what we're growing here, so that you don't have to feel like you always have to be at 100. And even anytime that you're not at 100, you got people that you can lean on that can help you get back to 100. Pat.
Morning, guys. So yesterday we started right here on this network, and we had a young lady come on, and she was telling us some of her experience and how she was doing her job, but yet others that was part of that same business enterprise were upset that she was doing her job, and she was doing her job well, and they were upset with that. And so it's easy to get frustrated, but we have to catch ourselves and not be frustrated, and refocus that energy into fascination. And some things we do in life seem to be of very little value. And sometimes we say, why aren't they not understanding? Why are they not listening? And so last night, like he said, he was kind of getting to that point of almost leaving the fascination that why people don't get it. you know? And sometimes it is. People just seem not to get it. And so I shared a little story that I remembered um, many, many years ago, up in out in Long Island, up in New York. There was a bunch of starfish, and the fishermen at one point were frustrated with the starfish, and they tried to kill them. They cut them in half and threw them back, and they multiplied instead of dying. And a couple years later, there were so many of them that they started acting irrationally. And sometimes marine life in herds will actually end up on the beach instead of staying in the water. They end up on the sand. And the problem is they can't survive on the sand. And so on this day, there was thousands of starfish over miles of beach. And sadly, most of them are going to die. And there's this old gentleman walking down the beach, and he's looking down, and every once in a while he's picking up one up, and he's throwing it back into the bay, throwing it back into the water. And this couple walks up to him and goes, "What are you doing? That's not going to have any, you know, effect. There's thousands of these. You can't save them. It's not going to matter." And he picks up one more starfish and goes, "It matters to this one," and throws it back into the water. And so we have to realize that sometimes we don't realize the good we're doing, the seeds we're planting, but it does matter to that one. And if that is, if your whole mission in life was to save that one, so be it. Be happy with the one.
Be happy with the one. And so this little story, guys, had me reflecting. It really just, you know what I mean? It brought me back, and it had me reflecting on the impact that we are making, right? I know it's a greater impact that we want to make, but sometimes we have to reflect on the impact that we are making. And for some of us, that impact could be negative, right? Right now, because we haven't really reflected and thought about what kind of impact am I making. But for many of us, it's a positive impact. It's a great impact on those that are connected to us, those that are around us, those that we can speak life into. And we can't lose sight of the impact that we are making. And so if you're in a position right now, as you think about the law of reflecting and you reflect, and if you reflect and you see yourself as having a negative impact in this world, in your world, then you have an opportunity to change that. You have an opportunity to say, you know what, let me do some things differently. If you're in a situation or a place right now where you're having a positive impact in your world, then you can say, you know what, I'm having an impact, and that be that. Sometimes we look so far into the big picture of what we would like to do, the amount of people that we like to serve, because we understand that we want to serve as many people as possible, but we can't forget about the one. And it reminds me of that biblical scripture of the lost lamb or something like that, right? He left the 99 to go find the one that was lost. And so I want you to ask yourself today, as you go out into your world, as you go out into your field, which is the one that is lost that you need to find? Which is the one that is lost that you need to find? That's what I want you to think about today, because you actually are making an impact. It's either a negative impact or it's a positive impact, and hopefully it's a positive impact. And I believe I'm connected to people that are making positive impact. And then today, the mission is to find that one that needs you, that needs your service, that needs your experience, that needs your energy, and save that one. Pat.
And that could be as simple as a kind word when they're having their bad day, and not letting their negative energy absorb into you, showing them that there's a way to reflect that negative energy and turn it and capture that energy and turn it into something positive. And sometimes you just need to absorb that from somebody and go, I understand. How can I help? You seem to be upset. What can I do to make your life better? And just that one statement sometimes will turn the whole relationship around. And everything in life is relationships. Everything in business is relationships. Part of the reason Blab and these other social networks work is because people get to see you, they get to hear you, they get to see that you're real. And you start building relationships with people all over the world that you may never meet. I mean, how many people have relationships with national speakers because they listen to their tapes or read their books, and they're building this relationship, they're learning from them, and they may never meet them. One of my major disappointments in life is I had missed a seminar, and I was going to them on a quarterly basis. And it was the last seminar Zig Ziglar did. And he had passed away between that one and the next one that I was going to go to. And I feel, well, I'll just catch him next time. I can't make it this time. Now, I have since then been involved with his son, you know, but I regret not meeting Zig Ziglar, and I've met some phenomenal people being involved in things like this. I mean, if anyone ever saw the movie Rudy, the football movie,
yeah, I saw it.
I actually met the real Rudy and had him sign a photograph for us at one of these conventions, at one of these, things that the Ziglars put on. So I mean, there's all kinds of these high energy people out there, but they are the few, they are the rare, and like you said, it may just be the one. Rejoice in the one. Rejoice in that one lamb you pulled out of the hole.
Absolutely. So, guys, the seats are open, man. Thanks so much for joining, Mr. Beatles, Miss Nicole, Miss Raquel. I know you're going to jump into a seat, put your headscarf on. Miss Brittany, I see you here, Raz Rising. Beta's in the building. Seats are open, man. We just want to have an open conversation today, man. Don't be frustrated was our word yesterday, our phrase. Don't be frustrated, be fascinated. And we get the opportunity every day to be fascinated. All day long. Get the opportunity to be fascinated by experience, by life, by people, by the journey. We get an opportunity to be fascinated all day long. And the question is, and the choice that we have to make, we have to choose whether we're going to be frustrated or whether we're going to be fascinated. And I want today to be the day that you choose, and every day for you to choose to be fascinated, so that you can continue on your journey, and the things that you see in this world won't have such an impact or stop you or distract you or put a roadblock in front of the progress that you're making. Be fascinated. Don't be frustrated. Be fascinated. Don't be frustrated. So hopefully you guys are going to jump into some seats here. We got 2 seats open for you guys to share. And again, what we're talking about is the reflection on this group, this reflection on this journey, the reflection on what we have started and what we have created here with the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. And again, we may have started this show, but it's because of you that we continue this show. And repeat that again. We may have started this show, but it's because of you that we continue this show. And we dare you to grow. And each and every day that we come together, each and every morning that we decide to wake up, to get up, and to show up, we're having an impact on each and every one of our lives. But not only that, we're also having an impact on everyone that may watch this show later on. So if you've got a comment to add, if you've got something to share, even if it's in the comments below, and maybe you don't feel like, putting on your face, share that below. This thing as we reflect just on the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show itself, just on being able to connect with people through Blab. I got a friend over in Oklahoma. We got people in Atlanta. We got people in Philadelphia. We got people all over the map that we're able to connect to virtually using this platform to spread wealth, to spread health, and to spread happiness. That is an awesome feeling to me. And hopefully it's an awesome feeling to you, because we've already seen a huge success in a short amount of time for the people that choose to connect, the people that choose to show up, and those people that choose to engage. Pat?
Well, you speak of different successes that different ones of us are having. And like I said, part of it's keeping the positive energy going. And that kind of helps us get to the next level, the next step. So some of the things that are happening in my world is I was actually asked to be a guest panelist on another Blab this Friday, which I was kind of excited about. And so I'm doing that. But starting next week, on Tuesday, I'm going to be in another city, kind of meeting with the air conditioning contractors of Oklahoma again. On Wednesday, I'm in a city. On Thursday and Friday, and then the following Monday. So I have 5 cities. I'm going back on this little road tour thing again, and going to go and speak to them. And this would be the second time I've gone through that same group, because I did it about a month and a half ago. But then they asked me if I would consider doing something a little different, and so I'm going to be going back through and doing how to use mobile marketing, texting, in local business, and and again, all business is relationships. So how many of us are involved in either building a business or have a business, or that's our plan, and we need to find a way to touch our customer base on a more regular basis. And a lot of mediums don't work as good as others. How many emails you get a day that you don't even open?
I know, right? Right? Don't send me an email; it will not get read.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that don't work. But when was the last time you did not read your text, a text sent to you? And even if you're going to dump it, you read it before you drop it. So when you can actually tie some of these newer technologies and use them on a regular basis, it kind of helps you keep that relationship going. This show is about building relationships with other people who are trying to also get to that level of awareness and that positive energy and start your day on a positive note. And if any of you guys need any help with the kind of stuff I do, let me know. I'd be more happy to have conversations. But the point is, relationships are life. Your relationships are your life. Your income is the average of the 5 people you hang around, right? Your 5 closest relationships, average those people's income, that's probably what you're making. If you want to make more money, hang around people reaching out for more, and they'll drag you with them. I want to get out of debt. I'm hanging around with him.
And here's the deal, guys. As we talk about these relationships, man, it's so important that we continue to foster it. And relationships are not business cards, guys. Relationships are not business cards. I just went to another event, and a part of the event was, hey, make sure you get 5 people's business cards. I'm like, that's the wrong message to send. I don't get your card for the card, and that's what most people do. They get a card for a card. I get the card because what's on the card, and I have to want what's on the card in order for me to want the card. Otherwise, it just goes into my wallet or goes into the trash. So have I built a relationship with the person for whom I'm getting the information, the important stuff that's on the card from? And I think that's what we miss in these networking events. Getting a card is not enough. Have you built a relationship? Do you have a reason to even ask for the card? When someone is handing you a card and you haven't asked for it, more than likely, you're not going to do anything with it. But when you're saying, hey, let me get your card because of this, what's your why? What is your why? And so as we think about that, as we talk about the why, I wanted to talk about that as well today. Whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're going after right now, I like in the comments below for you to just start typing in the comments below why you're going after it. Why are you going after it? Now, here's the deal. Most of us, we're going to come up with one good reason. It's like, oh, this is my major why. But I don't want us to just talk about the major why. I want us to talk about all of the whys. There are plenty of reasons why you're going to do it. Now, why am I doing this? Because as I was listening to my good mentor this morning, he was saying, I'm going to repeat after him. It says, here's the deal. When you know what you want and you want it badly enough, you'll find ways to get it. We have enough intelligence to do great things, but we don't have enough reasons. It's the reasons that cause us to ask, to seek, and to knock. All of us, all of you, everyone that's here today, you have enough intelligence to be great, to be awesome, to get the things and to acquire the things that you want in life, to accomplish the things that you want in life, to do the great things that you want to do for this world. It's not a matter of intelligence. It's a matter of the reasons. Why do you want to do what you want to do? And when you have enough reasons, right? Veda, she has some great reasons for her to push her forward to starting her poetic show. Raz Rising, he has enough reasons to go and do building this construction company, I think is what he's working on. Miss 6 o'clock, she has enough reasons to be in wedding planning and to be this social media expert. She has enough reasons. It's the reasons that cause us to ask, to seek, and to knock, to find the answers, which ultimately will help us find a way. What are your reasons? Why are you going after what you're going after? Mr. Beatles, he's working on some big project right now, and he has reasons why he's doing that. It's not just because the opportunity fell into his lap, it came across his path. He has reasons why he's doing what he's doing. Miss Laura Morrison, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm sure whatever it is that you're going after, you've got reasons why you're doing it. So if you want to take a moment to just drop some reasons down below, we can kind of talk about these things and share some of these things with one another, because there may be some reasons that we're overlooking ourselves because we're so, in tune with going after it that we don't come back and we reflect on the reasons why we're doing it. Miss Raquel is joining us. Oh, fantastic. Know she got some things to share this morning. Miss 6 o'clock. Oh, you got no audio coming in. You want to refresh?
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Good morning. Buenos dias, buenas noches. Can you
guys
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. You made me get up and put a scarf on because I literally was vegging again. So, one of the things that I want is freedom. I had my children when I was in my 20s, and I've always been a nurturer. I've always been a giver, and now my children are adults. So I'm kind of a very young empty nester, and I have no one to take care of right now. And that's always been my thing, which is probably why I exist in a submissive kind of way, as I was told at some point last week. Is because I've always been taking care of people, and I did it in my 20s, so it was embedded in me to be a nurturer. So I just always want to take care of people. So for the first time in my life, I'm being very selfish in a good way. But it's crazy, not crazy, but I've always wanted to travel. I think I told the story either here or on my live talks that I do every Sunday on Facebook at 9 p.m. How I've always wanted to just jump. I tweeted it. I wanted to backpack RV across Europe. Like, that was my dream. So I've always wanted to travel. And I'm going to tell you, God makes good on the promises in his heart, because he's teasing me. I mean, for me to get a job at the airport, and one of the things that I do to meditate before I go to work is I go to the furthest terminal and I sit there and I just watch the planes take off. I look at the thing and I'm like, I'm going to be on those planes. I just want to go to exotic places and just try different cuisine from all over the world. I just want to eat different stuff, and just explore and learn a different language. I mean, I took enough Spanish in my life that I think if I jump in Spain, it'll just come back to me and I'll be able to be fluent in it. But I want the freedom and the flexibility to be able to travel. I want to, at one point I was like, I'll go to one country in the United States a year. That'll take 50 years and I'll only be in the United States. No, I want to travel. I want to do things. I want to put stamps in my passport. I would love to take a dance class in Paris, take a dance class in Africa. I think that would just be, and then take a cooking class in Paris. So my goal is just to have enough income that when I'm ready to take a trip, I don't have to worry about anything. I can just be completely flexible and just kind of, do these things. And I believe that, and here I go getting spiritual again, that God is setting me up. He's showing me that anything is possible just by me getting what I called an end user job, like starting from the bottom. Now we're here. I just wanted to say that. But starting from the bottom and then ending up just kind of seeing, people traveling all the time. I mean, like I said, I'm in a restaurant, and when I walk around, I just hear all these people having conversations. I hear Japan, I hear Germany, I hear Australia, I hear Russian, I hear all these accents just by walking by and be like, can I take your plate, please? And I think it's amazing.
Yeah. So Raquel, I got something just came to me. There's times in our life, that we have to be humbled to see opportunity. Let me repeat that again. I want to make sure everybody got that. There are times in our life where we have to be humbled in order to see opportunity.
Yeah.
So even though you might feel like this is a bottom of the rung job, you've been set up in order to see the possibilities that are ahead of you. Whereas if you wouldn't have gone through whatever you're going through and being put in this position, you might have still had the dream, but the dream would have been in your folder instead of in front of your eyes.
Right.
So sometimes we have to be humble in order to see possibility.
I agree.
That's all I had to say about that.
I agree 100%. I do have another story that kind of relates to the starfish story. And I know some of my fan base followers, they listen to these blabs like later. So I'm going to talk about someone, but I'm not going to say her name. I got a phone call yesterday from a friend who's very, very, very concerned that Donald Trump might be president. I mean, almost like in tears, like panic, because, she was like, he's going to be president. What's going to happen to this country? She was going to work or at work, and it was affecting her day. So this has to do with just, doing something for the one person. So it comes to me now. I think being part of this group, listening to Grant Cardone, I think his name is, the whole 10X community, and just wanting to be on fire for life. I feel like I'm in a place where I can kind of tell people, well, this is what you need to do. So I said to her, bring it back. Like, think about what you can do in your circle. Think about what you can do right now. Don't worry about Donald Trump. Like, don't worry about how big that is. Don't worry about the possibility that he might be president. Like, you may not ever be in a room with him, and it's affecting you getting ready to go to work right now. Like, you're upset about that. So bring it back in. Think about what you can do in your moment. The one thing that you can solve right now. You're getting ready to go to work. You work in retail. You know what? You have a dynamite smile. Smile at everybody that comes to work today. Don't worry about Donald Trump, because that is too big. It's too, for you to think that he might. And for people who take the time to dwell on mights or maybes, especially if they are scary mights, like, if you can't control the thing, then don't put your energy in it, and come back and think about what you control and do the one thing, the one person at a time. I love that starfish story. That's amazing, amazing, amazing story. And then, and it's like you said, you have people who will walk around. Why are you helping the starfish? You know what? Get out of ring 8, get a Saturn. You get on ring 8. I get your negative energy. Dude, go help me get a starfish. Let's do this twosies. I throw one. Let's make a game. Let's see who can throw the starfish in the ocean the furthest. I work for an organization called Giving in America, and we're always trying to find creative ways to give. Give to a starfish, give to Mother Nature. But for her, give your smile that you have to people in front of you. That's what you can do right now. You can't worry about Donald Trump. I personally think this is a way to just drive everybody to the polls, to make them vote against him. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story. Thank you, Pat, for your story.
Pat.
Oh, good seeing you. So, and the other thing I'd like to tell you, Rochelle, is don't confuse being of service to being enslaved, and some of these other negative words people say, because we all are in service to each other. And just because you're in service with a smile doesn't mean you're in servitude. And don't let other people put that negative vibe to you. But the other thing I'd like to touch on briefly is there's a circle of things that are important to us. And then there's another circle of things that we have control over. And it's only where those two intersect, that little piece in between that is important and that we have control over, that's what you have to focus on. Because it may be important to her whether or not Donald wins or not, but she has very little control over that. She's one vote, right? But it's also important that she has a good day.
Right.
But she does have control over that. So not only do we need to worry about what's important, but we also need to realize what we do have control over. And the one thing we all have control over is our decisions and attitude. We don't have control over anyone else. Control's an illusion except for yourself. I have no control over what Evan's going to say next.
You absolutely don't. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Hey, so Ms. Beta said, that's absolutely phenomenal, man. What is important to you and what do you have control over? And where do those two things intersect? And that's a great place to spend a lot of your energy. The things that are important to you and also the things that you can control. When we get into the place of spending time on things that are not important to us, right? Even though we showed that they're important at the time for some reason, but we know in our head it's not really important. It's not important for me to spend a whole bunch of time over this petty stuff. And then also when we spend a lot of time in things that we can't control, I have no control over that, but I'm gonna spend a whole bunch of time talking about that, thinking about that, worrying about that, but I have no control over that. That's absolutely insane as well. But where the two meet, where the thing that's important to me, that's truly things that I value, and also some things that I can control, some things that I can have an input on that I can change, that I can actually do something about. That's a great place to spend a lot of your energy. Great place to spend a lot of your energy. Some of the things that you can control and some of the things that may be important to you is the business that you're trying to build. You can control the effort that you put into that business. You can control the time or the amount of time that you spend building your dream. Now, here's the question, and it's the question that came up yesterday. How important is your dream? And are you willing to spend the time and effort in it to make it come true? So Veda says she wants to show people that a girl from the hood can make it, that when you work hard, it does pay off. This is one of her reasons. And we're talking about the reasons why you want to do what you're doing, the reasons. And again, it's not that you don't have the intelligence, it's that you don't have enough reasons. And it's the reasons that cause you to ask, to seek, and to knock. Evans Munch, Raz Rising.
What's up, man?
How are you, brother?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Let's make it quick.
Oh, yeah. I just actually wanted to share about the word of yesterday. Was it like being fascinated instead of being frustrated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say how that helped me yesterday because, my kind of job I do, my investing, like with the market, man, that's one of the, you get frustrated every day. Most of the time it's just frustrating how the market is. So yesterday I kind of went on it and decided, I'll just be fascinated with the market and see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I ended up making better trades because, as I guess the word for today is, you can only control what you can control, right?
Yeah.
So, and the only things I can control is my entry price and my exit price and my strategy. So I'm just trying to focus on that and see how it goes. And it's actually going good right now. So I just want to say that helped me. And I appreciate this show, man. It's, like you say, it's whoever you hang with is the people, is the people who move you up. So, and I might never even meet any of you guys, but I hang with you every day in the morning. If I'm online or I see the videos after, so you my circle. You my circle even more than my friends who are, I've known for a long time. So I just
absolutely. So Raz, you change your perspective, your attitude from being frustrated to being fascinated, and then that helped you to make better decisions with the things that you're doing in the investment circle. And then now you say, hey, now I'm realizing that I can only control what I control. I can't control what's going to happen in the market, but I can control when I buy and when I sell. And that helped you to make some better decisions, man. That's absolutely phenomenal. And so I want to say this, guys, is that there are people that you're connected to, right, that might feel like they don't have anywhere to go and speak and share. And I try to tell people this all the time, that your current circle, it may not be what you want, but you can go find another circle. And I want you to know that you can always invite people to join this circle because they may not be in a positive place right now, and that's okay. Because I believe that we got enough positive energy that's going to turn their day around, that's going to turn their life around, that's going to turn their moment around. And so if you have people that are connected to you that are saying, hey, I just don't have people that I can talk to. I don't have people that get it. I don't have people in my circle right now. We understand that they need to find a new circle. And this could be their circle. Mr. Henry, I did get your email. I'll respond to it this weekend. I'm not a big email person, by the way. But I'll respond to it this weekend. I didn't mean to get back to you. I'll probably hit you up on LinkedIn. There's an 8 o'clock show that I'm not going to be able to do today, guys. I'm actually got a lot of things going on in my life. I'm on a Black Wall Street tour today. I'll be heading down to Lovejoy High School to talk to these kids about money and talk to them how they can get rich. Because at the end of the day, guys, I know Peter. I'm sorry, Peter. I got to go and make a difference in the community. I'm gonna do it at 5 o'clock today, but that's what's going on. So Raz Rising, Mr. Evans Munch, man, you got any last words for the peeps, man? Thanks so much for having the courage to come on and speak to the network today. Any last words for the peeps?
I always say make every moment count. Just, do whatever you can in every moment to live on purpose. That's what I try to do.
Make every moment count. Evans Munch, any last words for the peeps?
All I'm gonna say is just keep on moving to your goals, and one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Pat.
There's two ways to climb an oak tree. You can plant the seed and sit on the pile of dirt and wait, or you can get off and climb the tree yourself. And sometimes that extra little bit of effort will get you there quicker. Both ways, you're going to end up on the top of the tree. Do you want to do it now, or do you want your bones to do it later?
Absolutely, guys. So today we're saying don't be frustrated, be fascinated. Be fascinated with life. Focus on the things that you can, A, that are important to you, and B, that you can control. When you get outside of that minor circle, that little circle, you find yourself in a place that you're no longer fascinated, but you're doing the other thing. So we want to keep you fascinated. And one of the ways that you can do that is focus on the things that are important to you and also the things that you can control. If you spend your energy there, you spend your time there, and hopefully what's in that time is your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. Hopefully what's in that time is the time that you take a moment to reflect. And as we're going through the 15 laws of invaluable growth, what we're saying to you today is that we dare you to grow. Well, this is ERGJ, certified financial educator and host of the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. So hopefully you'll be back with us tomorrow. But as for today, here's what we're saying to you today. Be wealthy, be healthy, be happy, and we're out. Have a good day, guys.